everyone, my name is Tamara, and this is the 15th episode of the Caffeinated Craft Mamas podcast. My podcast all about my knitting, crocheting, and bookish life in Southwest Missouri, where I live with my partner Richard, our 3 kids, and our dog. I hope you all are doing well. It's been about 3 weeks since I've talked to you. I have some admin stuff to talk about. I have a what am I wearing. I have 4 FOs to talk about, 3 whips, and 2 book recommendations, and a partridge in a pear tree. So we'll go ahead and get started. The first thing I want to say is thank you for watching. First of all, hi to any new subscribers, and hello to all my friends that have been with me for a while. I'm really bad about saying hi and saying thank you. If you like what you see here, please hit the subscribe button and the like button. Let me know that you're enjoying what I'm doing. Second would be, if you would like to follow me on Instagram, please feel free to do so. That's really the only place I'm active in the knitting community. I am the caffeinated_craft_mama, and I've got several people over there that I like to hang out with, and we just chat in DMs and do things, so feel free to come join the party. So I'm drinking oatmeal cookie coffee today. Just my normal. It's the last cup of the day. It's always the saddest time. So, as I said, we've got a lot to talk about. First thing I want to talk about is Vlogtober. So, I tried Vlogtober. It's not for me. I was stressing out so much about getting like 20-second clips of everything I was doing. And I wasn't having fun. I wasn't enjoying it. I wasn't having a good time. I would realize I'd done something and then be like, dang it, I meant to record part of that. So we're just gonna say see you later to Vlogtober, and you know, I may try Vlogmas, I may not. I may try it next year when I've got a little one that's not quite so little, you know, we'll just see. But you guys are still getting content from obviously the podcast, and I'm not gonna do something that I'm not 100% into. So I took a long weekend away from recording. I deleted all the stuff that I had, and I am starting fresh today. It is actually Monday, October 18th. Jade turns 10 tomorrow, my big girl. Ugh, makes me so sad. So she will be 10 tomorrow, and I realized, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, but I realized that her birthday is actually 13 days before Halloween. Anyone who knows Jade knows that Halloween is her favorite time of year. We start designing costumes in March, April. She starts designing her costumes. Granted, they change multiple times throughout the year, but we finally gotten set on one, and we're going to be creating one for her. Probably this weekend, actually. So anyway, that was supposed to be in Life and Junk, but you know, whatever. Okay, so we're gonna go over what am I wearing. This is the Mountain Song sweater by Megan over at Knit Curious. This was a test knit I did for her. I knit this out of Knit Picks Wool of the Andes Sport in Sprinkle Heather. And I love this color yarn. I love the way it looks. I love the sweater. It's a little bigger than I want it to be. But I made a major boo-boo when I ordered this yarn. I did not realize that the Wool of the Andes Sport is non-superwash. And it's itchy, guys. Like, I've got a tank top on under it, and that's okay. But like my arms, it's just kind of like itching me. Those of you who have worked with animal fibers before, because I've mainly been an acrylic person up until I entered the knitting community online a couple of years ago, and even then I've always done superwash. This was my first non-superwash anything. If you guys have any tips on how I can soften this up and make this more comfortable to wear, I would greatly appreciate that. I mean, I'm even wondering if it would like hurt it if I put like dollar store conditioner on it like I do for Red Heart when Red Heart's really gross. I'll soak it in some dollar store conditioner overnight and then rinse it and wash it. I mean, help me out here, guys, because I really want to get to keep this sweater and I really want to wear it. But if it's going to be itchy like this, I doubt it's going to be something that I'm going to keep on. It has nothing to do with the pattern. It's a great pattern. If I do end up getting rid of it, I am 100% going to knit another one. So if you don't follow Megan over at Knit Curious on Instagram, I highly recommend going and giving her a follow. She's got some beautiful designs. She also came out with a hat pattern that has this fun cabling on it. I actually will probably size down. I think I knit a size too big. I don't have the greatest body image, if we're gonna just, be honest on here for a minute. And so I always tend to make things that are oversized versus making things that are smaller. I always size up. I never ever like things with negative ease, and I think that this sweater would have fit better and done what the designer wanted it to had I had the confidence to size down. So I think the next time I knit this, I will size down a little bit. I have an idea for another one if this one ends up being donated. So anyway, whew, that was a lot, wasn't it? And we haven't even started on our content yet. Goodness gracious. Just to forewarn you, if I check my watch multiple times, I am waiting on a text message or a phone call from a friend, so I may check my watch more than normal, but overall, I will do my best not to do that. So, all right, let's get started with FOs. I am titling this episode Lots of Socks because my sock mojo has come back with a vengeance. So, I had a half object last time, and they are now a pair of finished objects. This is my On the Other Side socks, yarn by Bad Wolf Girl Studios. You guys have seen this before. I just did a basic heel flap and gusset, toe up, Ginny's magic cast on for the toe, and then the Nitty Natty stretchy bind off for the cuff. I really like these. I knit these on US size 1. I have gone down to 56 stitches for my socks. We have talked about this before, but it is worth mentioning again. I have a sock thief in my house. His name is Richard. So anytime I knit anything in the 60 stitch range, they fit him too. So I have gone down to 56 stitches for myself. I do 50 rounds of foot before I start the gusset increases, and do a slip stitch heel flap and gusset, and I really like these. I haven't worn them yet. I'm looking forward to it. They're the Halloween colorway she did last year. She's not dyeing yarn right now. She's pregnant, so she's not dyeing yarn. I'm super excited for her. So yeah, those are done. And so I got those done, and then I started knitting on a pair of socks that I actually don't have to show you. My mom's birthday was October 6th, and a friend of hers had some sock tubes cranked, and she asked me to put in the heels, toes, and cuffs and do a pair for my mom for her birthday. And I was working on one pair, and I realized that they were 60 stitches on a US 2 with a really loose gauge. So I finished one pair, and they were super big. They would have made good house socks, but to wear like in shoes and to wear the way my mom and I prefer to wear them, they weren't going to work out. So I knit off the sock tube like a sock blank. And I will pop a picture in here because I got one sock almost all the way done, and then I realized that I had dropped a stitch somewhere. I think what happened was I had picked one up, knit with it, and then dropped it back down. How in the world I did this, I don't know, but like I said, I'll pop a picture in here if you can see the ridge. And so I knit that almost, let's try that again. I knit almost that whole sock in one day. I started the toe, and then we were watching Marvel movies. It was a rainy day. The kids were just kind of tired and laying around, and I just knit. I knit almost that entire sock. I was almost ready for the cuff when I realized that I had messed it up. So I ended up having to rip almost the entire sock out and starting over. Very frustrating. I got mad at it and then went in timeout for a few days, but I was able to get the socks done before her birthday. So they have been gifted to her. She really likes them, and you will actually see some more of the yarn in just a few minutes because I have them in whips as well. Okay, The next one I have are another pair of Halloween socks. I've been, like I said, I was on a sock kick, but I've really been going through my Halloween yarn. I went through a kick last year where I bought a bunch of Halloween yarn and then I didn't knit with any of it. You know, because buying yarn and using yarn are two different hobbies, in case you weren't aware of that. So this is Witching Hour by Caitlin over at Mint Rain, with a mini that I had. I think it was a Bad Wolf Girl Studios. It used to be called Acid Pop. I don't know what it's called now. She may just be calling it Acid, but that was the toe and the cuff. These are almost exact, which the nature of hand-dyed self-striping yarn, they're not going to be 100% perfect, but they are almost exact. 56 stitches on a US size 1. I should have knit these just a tad bit longer. I know once I wear them and they relax a little bit that they'll fit just fine, and if they don't, they can always go to Olivia, which is sad to say that her foot's almost the same size as mine. But I really like them. I think it was a fun knit. Caitlin used to carry 50 grams gains that you could buy on her website, and so I bought several of her 50 grams gains, and she doesn't carry those anymore, but I still really enjoy her yarn. So yeah, these are called Witching Hour. I think she still has them in the shop too. You can go look. I love all her yarn. Okay. I have one more finished object. I finished my Muscleberg by Uzola Teague. This is Undercover Otter in the colorway Viren. I'll hold that up so you can see it. I finished it last night while we were watching the Cowboys and New England Patriots football game. I did all the decreases. It's still a little damp from blocking. So I think I'm going to mostly wear it just like this, but if I wanted to, I could pull it down and fold up a small brim. I ended up knitting this shorter than it called for. It called for like 18.5 inches that I needed to knit before the decreases, and that would have been a huge brim because I knit this to like 14, so it would have been another 4.5 inches. So I would have had another 2 inches of rolled brim here. But I kind of like the slouchy look. I don't think I would wear it like this as much. So, whoops. But it blocked really nicely. It's super soft. I'm really excited about it. It was a really fun knit. It's one of those knits where after you get to the increases, you just have to do stockinette for like miles and miles and miles. So it's one of those that it's super easy while you're out for coffee or you're with friends or you're at knit group or you're watching TV, because you know, if I'm sitting, I'm knitting. And this was one of those that I could knit anywhere. I didn't have to think about it. So I really enjoyed that, and I really like the hat. It matches my coat really well, matches really what I'm wearing. If you can't tell, purple's kind of a vibe in my life. I wear a lot of purple and a lot of gray. So yeah, I'm really excited about it. I'm really proud of it. I'm gonna take it off because it's still wet, like I said. But I am super happy with it and looking forward to cold weather when I can wear it. Okay, move on to whips. Let me grab a drink. I'm trying to slow down my talking a little bit. I think we talk about this like every other episode. But I'm just a fast talker by nature, so I apologize. All right, my first whip is living in my Lila Styles Harry Potter bag. I love her bags. I have 2 of them. I would really love to have some more. They're actually on my Christmas list this year. These are socks for my mom's best friend, Holly. This is the rest of the yarn that was left over from my mom's birthday socks. So it was in the sock tube. As you can see, it looks like ramen noodles in here. It was still in the sock tube, and I needed to get an exact measurement. In the way that our local yarn store does sock tubes, she does a little bit of a plain yarn and then the yarn that you're doing so that you can pick up those stitches. So I needed to get an exact weight on the ball, so I had to take the plain yarn out. I don't know what this colorway is. It's super pretty though, very autumnal. It still looks like spaghetti in there. So I have done a Fish Lips Kiss Heel this time with a mini, again, Bad Wolf Girl Studios. Forbidden Forest is what it used to be called. I don't know what it is now. Just her really, I think it's Loki. Just her really pretty dark green. It matches really well. The mini that I used on my mom's wasn't quite enough. So I am just knitting on this and weighing this ball every 10 or 15 rows to make sure that I have enough for the second sock. I'd love a little bit to put in my scrappy blankets too, but obviously that's not a requirement. I want Holly to have good socks. And then I've got one more sock tube of hers. I think I'm gonna wait and just go ahead and knit those like I did the sock blank. I'll probably do that in January for her, just so I know the socks fit her. I can't knowingly give her socks that aren't gonna fit her very well. That just bothers me. So, yeah, I should have that leg and probably a half object, if not a finished object, next time I record. I'm really enjoying those. Like I said, my sock mojo is back with a vengeance, which is good because I have several pairs of socks that I'm going to talk about casting on in a few minutes when we get to acquisitions and future knits. Okay, what's next? Reese's sweater. As promised, I did finish the body. This is the Harvest Cardigan by Tin Can Knits. So I was here last time. I'll turn it around so you can see. So I finished the body and I am most of the way through one of the sleeves. Thankfully, my niece is in size 2 to 3T, so I can try this on William, and if it's a little snug on William, it'll probably fit Reese. So I have, I think 2 inches to go, and then I need to do the cuff. I want to try it on William. I think I'm going to do an extra decrease that isn't called for in the pattern. I feel like the sleeves are going to be a little balloony, and I prefer a tighter fitting sleeve. So this will be done next time you see it. Ends will be woven in. This is just yarn from Stash. I think it's like Red Heart Super Soft or something. I'm planning on just steaming the heck out of it to get it to lay flat and to soften it up a bit. I may even soak it in some conditioner, we'll see. But I am enjoying that knit a lot. I am realizing that's probably not one I would enjoy doing as an adult sweater, but as a size 2 to 3 little girl sweater, it's not too bad. Or 2 to 4. 2 to 4T is the size I'm doing. Okay, and I'm actually using the Knit Companion app for that. I downloaded that. I am very much usually a paper pattern kind of girl, but I don't have a printer at home. And to go to the library to print it off, I have to get all the kids out of the car, and honestly, I'm just being lazy, but I'm just trying that out to see if I like it. I did that in the Muscleberg hat that way. So the only other whip I have are my Christmas washcloths. So I am up to 8. I'll just show you the stack. 8 finished washcloths. 8 out of 20. I've got 12 to go. That's not too bad. Some of them have ends woven in, some of them don't. I'm just going to show you the stack every time until they get too big to fit in my bag. And then I am on the 9th one right now. I am ready to knit straight for 3 rows and then start the decreases. I knit this after the kids went to bed last night, before we went to bed, and I'll just finish that up. I've been keeping up with my 2 a week, which makes me really happy, and I don't have to look at the pattern anymore. So that makes me happy too. Just get all those done. More Christmas gifts, getting them done. Okay, so those are all my whips. All right, now I went on a bit of a shopping spree. Let me preface this by saying most of these are not for me. So the first one I'm going to talk about are, put in a Knit Picks order. This is Knit Picks Stroll Fingering in North Sea Heather. It's this really nice like blue with all the tweedy bits. It is 65% superwash wool, 25% nylon, and 10% tweed. So I am planning on knitting this into a Muscleberg hat for my uncle. He lives in Anchorage, Alaska, and it gets cold up there, obviously. So I got 2 to knit him a hat. I'm just gonna knit until I almost run out of one ball, and then attach the other, obviously, and keep going. So I just left everything in my candy corn bag that I made last year or the year before, and so it's all ready to go. I just need to do the crocheted pinhole cast on and get moving. I'm looking forward to having another one of these on the needles. I've got this one and one for someone else that I would like to do before Christmas, and then I have one I'm doing in January, which I'll talk about the yarn in just a second. Okay, so I put most of my other acquisitions in a bag. Okay, this is for my brother-in-law. So we were at my Nana's the other day for lunch, and my brother-in-law and I were sitting there and we were talking, and he points down at his foot, and I look down and he's wearing the hand-knit socks I made him for Christmas last year. Or no, for his birthday. Excuse me, for his birthday this year. And I was like, oh, hey, look, you're wearing your socks. And he's like, yeah, I'd like another pair. I was like, well, I can make that happen. So this is Knit Pick Stroll, hand painted in Movie Night. These will be Christmas socks for him. I am really missing my ball winder. I went ahead and wound these up last night and realized how much I am missing my ball winder. But that's okay, it's on my Christmas list. I think these are gonna be a really fun pair of socks. His favorite color is orange, so there's not a huge amount that I can choose from, but I found this and I think he'll really enjoy it. Next up are, I got a set of Felici to knit Richard a pair of socks. This is Base Jump. He needs a couple more pairs of socks. He's looking to possibly make a career change, and what he's looking at doing will be outdoors part of the time in the winter, so I want to make sure he's got warm feet. So he needed more socks. He always needs socks. Makes me happy because he wears them all the time. Okay, and then my mom and I went to Hobby Lobby, and Olivia saw this, my stepdaughter Olivia. This is authentic hand-dyed, Yarn Bee Authentic hand-dyed Techno Tribe. There's 400 yards in here. It is a 1, and it's 100% superwash merino. So she saw this, and she grabbed it right off the shelf and said she wanted something for her birthday. Her birthday is January 12th, so I told her I could definitely do it for her birthday. I didn't think I would have time for Christmas, but I could do it for her birthday. So I had her try on the Muscleberg hat when she was here last night, and then I had her try on the sockhead hat that I knit for Richard, and she preferred the Muscleberg. So this will be one of those. She really wanted both. If I can get both out of one skein, I will, but we'll see. And then I also bought Yarn Bee Soft and Sleek DK in Cloud Control. So I had 3 balls of this already, and I traded it with my mom for some fingering weight, kind of like this, that I'd gotten from Hobby Lobby. Okay, let's back up. Richard and I have been watching The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina on Netflix. And Aunt Hilda wears this pink sweater that's like a broken rib, just big slouchy sweater. And I'm like, I need to find this sweater somewhere. So I go on the hunt and I find it on Ravelry, because everything is on Ravelry. And this is, I'll pop a picture in here, the Morechella Cardigan. And it is the closest I could find to Aunt Hilda's cardigan. I'll try to pop a picture of her in there too. But I needed like 2,000 yards of DK weight yarn. And these are 478 yards per ball. So I had 3. So I purchased 2 more because I want to make the sweater a little bit longer. I'm not a hip length sweater kind of person. If I'm going to wear one of those big oversized cardies, I want it to come close to covering my butt. Because I like to wear leggings and t-shirts under a lot of those. So yeah, I am really excited about this. I was a good girl and didn't just do the black like I wanted. I thought this would be a fun little bit of pop of color, even though I understand it's gray. It's not actually a color, but for me, this is a bright color. So there's that, and it'll match everything. So let me stuff all this back in my bag. And then tomorrow, as well as it being Jade's birthday, I get to start opening my Halloween advent calendar. I got one from Southern Storytime Yarn Co. She's My Darling Story on Instagram. So I'll just show you the box. I got a 13 days of Halloween advent calendar from her. And I decided to start it 13 days before Halloween. Some people started theirs on October 1st. So there it is in all its beautifulness. And it's 12 minis or fun things and then a full skein on the 13th day. And I am really looking forward to opening these. I think it was just like a trick-or-treat themed one, but the bags are super cute. And yeah, so the first one is called Trick or Treat. So they'll each have, and I'll just pop these in my Instagram stories every day rather than put them on Vlogtober. So that is all of my yarny content. I think, let's see. Yes, that is all of my yarny content. I'm going to talk about a couple books and then hop out of here. So if you're just here for the yarn, it was great to see you and I hope you enjoyed what you saw. If you'd like to hear about the books I've been reading, stick around for a few more minutes and we'll talk about those. Okay. So a dear friend of mine, well, I say dear friend, dear internet friend of mine, Gretchen, I talk about her on here a lot, introduced me to a book series by Deanne Rayburn, and it is called the Veronica Speedwell series. There are 7 books in this series, so I want to read you guys the little synopsis of the first book, and then we'll talk about what I thought. So the first book is called A Curious Beginning, and it says London, 1887. After burying her spinster aunt, orphaned Veronica Speedwell is free to resume her world travels in pursuit of scientific inquiry and the occasional romantic dalliance. As familiar with hunting butterflies as with fending off admirers, Veronica intends to embark upon a journey of a lifetime. But fate has different plans when Veronica thwarts her own attempted abduction with the help of an enigmatic German baron, who offers her sanctuary in the care of his friend Stoker, a reclusive and bad-tempered natural historian. But before the baron can reveal what he knows of the plot against her, he is found murdered, leaving Veronica and Stoker to run from the elusive assailant as wary partners in search of villainous truth. So I really enjoyed this book. It's about 400 pages and I read it very quickly. I really enjoy the main character, Veronica. She is a lot of fun, very sassy, especially for that time period. She's very just, this is how I like it. This is how we're going to be. You know, and back then it wasn't common for a woman to run around and go on adventures and things. So it's been a lot of fun reading this book series. I really like Stoker, her little partner, and I am looking forward to reading the second book. I actually have it upstairs waiting for me, but I've got a couple others that I have to read first. But I really enjoyed it and I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes. So it was a clean book. I mean, not quite one I'd probably recommend my grandma read, but there wasn't anything in it that was super bad. The beginning of it was a little slow. I will say that. It took me a little bit to get into it, but once it got into the storyline a little more, I really enjoyed it. So I will let you guys know what I think of the second book. I also read a book called Shatter Me, and I wrote down the pronunciation of the author's name. Taheri Mafi. is her name. And I really enjoyed this book too. It is, well, let me read this and then I'll talk about it a little bit more. Excuse me. Okay. One touch is all it takes. One touch and Juliet can leave a full-grown man gasping for air. One touch and she can kill. No one knows why Juliet has such incredible power. It feels like a curse, a burden that one person alone can never bear. But the reestablishment sees it as a gift, sees her as an opportunity for a deadly weapon. Juliet has never fought for herself before, but when she's reunited with the one person who ever cared about her, she finds the strength she never knew she had. So this book kind of reminds me of Rogue from X-Men, like the original X-Men, in the sense that she can't touch anybody and everything. I really enjoyed this book. I read it very quickly, and I really like that the author writes dual points of view. So she wrote the book from Juliet's point of view, and then she wrote a novella that is actually attached to the book at the end, that is another character's point of view. I was surprised at who the character was. I have a feeling the love interest in the first book is going to turn out to be a Tamlin from A Court of Thorn and Roses. I just have this gut feeling that that's what's going to happen. This is another book series that is like 5 or 6 books long. I just really enjoyed the book. It was a good read. And it's very much, it's like one of those, the society has ended type of books. And so I really enjoyed it. We'll see. Sorry. I opened my Kindle and there was an ad for a book I might want to read. They get me with that every time. But I really enjoyed that book, and the second book hopefully will be at the library soon. Like I said, I've got a stack of books right now to read, and then I've got a stack of movies to watch. So growing up, my parents weren't huge into movies. They just weren't, which is fine, you know, whatever. We didn't go to the movies a whole lot. If we did, it was like with friends or a super special treat or whatever. It's just not something we did. And so I missed out on, I wouldn't say missed out on, I haven't had the opportunity to watch a lot of movies. And my mom is not a big fan of Halloween, neither is my dad really. I mean, we went trick-or-treating and stuff as kids, but we weren't the house that was like fully decorated and that kind of stuff growing up. So I have Practical Magic, I have Gremlins, and I have Beetlejuice to watch. All 3 of those, which I have never seen. So I'm really looking forward to watching those this year. So hopefully I'll get a chance to sit down and watch some of those this week. Because I'd like to watch all the cheesy 80 movies that I didn't watch growing up. Let's see. Life and junk. Not a whole lot to say. Jade's birthday is tomorrow. She will be 10. We're getting ready to put her costume together. She's going as Flippy, the psychokinetic fish from Dogman. William is going to be a red ninja. I was informed that he is the ninja from Ninjago. The kids watched that when they were really young, but I haven't seen it in years. I basically ordered him the costume because it doubles as a pair of pajamas. And William doesn't really care what he goes as. So I figured that would be the best bet. He could at least wear the costume a couple more times and sleep in it, and it would be fine. And I believe Olivia is going as a fallen angel. She did Halloween with our family last year, so most likely she will do Halloween with her mom this year. Just kind of depends on if her mom has to work that night or not. If she does, then she'll come trick-or-treating with us. If she does not work, she'll be at her mom's. So they ask me what I'm going to go as every year, and I tell them the same thing, a tired mommy. Olivia keeps wanting me to make like this crazy yarn crown and go as a master knitter or something. I might do that one of these years. She's been begging me to do it. We're going to try to go to the pumpkin patch probably on Thursday. We were going to try to do apple picking, but the frost back in April that we got here kind of killed off the apple crop. So none of our local orchards are doing you pick apples. And so yeah, I mean, we're just kind of going. My dad went pheasant hunting and he'll be back later this week. So we'll do Jade's birthday this coming weekend. We always wait until he gets home to do the birthday party for her. So we always just do a small family party. Big parties are hard for her to manage. So especially when the attention is all on her. So we just don't really do big, huge parties in our family. But yeah, so that's about it. I will see you guys, honestly, when I see you guys. Hopefully it will be less than 2 weeks and I'll get back on my regular schedule, but I'm not going to put that kind of pressure on myself. If you liked what you saw, please like the video and subscribe. And if you have any advice on the itchy sweater problem I have going on, please drop me a comment down below. I would appreciate it. And I will see you guys later.